Oh, oh my. You're looking awfully adorable today, aren't you? At least for someone so mundane. It was a joke. I wouldn't want to hurt your feelings yet. It's more fun to give you hope first. Or am I dead serious? Which do you think it is? You're so interesting. I'll tell you that's quite the understatement. Have no fear. Your prince is here. As for what that means, or what we should do, that's for me to know and you to find out. Your expression, it's so satisfying. Yes, in fact, that's true. Today is our anniversary, of sorts. Did I make it sound more romantic than it is? Well, it could be. I never once said I wasn't going to make it romantic bullying. You're such a pushover. Or are you? Is it that you're playing the role of a pushover? Or maybe you want me to think that? Well, for better or worse, I'm back. And you've got my entire focus, my fixation, on you. Oh, congratulations. Don't you feel lucky? No, you wouldn't feel lucky from simply that, would you? If it was, then you'd be missing out on half the fun. Think about it. What do you really want? Why do you stick around if you think I'm such a bully? You're always pouting, crossing those pretty little arms, and then what? Wow, that arm crossing might be pretty, but that look right now had a certain dignity to it, a certain handsome appeal. So which is it? Which depiction fits you the most? Do you just enjoy being picked on this much? Perhaps you enjoy the role of being my... Well, what shall we call you? You've been a number of things to me so far. Mostly a servant, a lover, and what a delightful form of entertainment you've been. Never a dull moment when we're like this, is there? Never a moment left to bated breaths. Instead, left with something far more interesting. When you have those bated breaths, that's when I like to get closer. I'm sure you know by now. What? That's all you have to say? Not going to put up much of a fight like that, are you? Was it that submission into the moment? Or maybe something else? Really? You've seen through me then. My attempts at goading you failing right now. Is that the story? Is that how things are right now? You're just dancing in the palm of my hand. Unless it's the other way around. What is it? You're going to shut my pretty little mouth, huh? Bold words, but how? How do you intend to do that? You'd have to catch me to do that, and... What are you going to do, then? When you catch me, maybe I want you to catch me. Maybe I'm taunting you because I know you have such a cute reaction of things. That I know every detail of every thought that you've planned ahead. Maybe I'm just better like that. Or maybe it's all intuition. And even then, I've seen through your plan, haven't I? Your eyes give you away. What you want, as simple as a touch, or as complicated as a feeling, and yet, it's my loss, I suppose. Good job. Wonderful job, even. Not bad. It would seem like you're thinking of something, shall I guess? Why is it, after all this time, have we not had something like this? Something to call our own, is that it? Was the fame and money not enough? Oh, don't worry. I hate them too. The feelings, those who feel like they can trample on other people just because they're above them. Did I mention I made an exception for myself? Well, you didn't seem to mind it, but I will admit, you've seen me at some unsavory times too. Times which I've had to face myself, as all great men do. I had to face it, the things I was lacking. And then I struggled for a while of knowing what exactly to face you with. I thought about it. Should I just face you with normality? But what would that even entail? After I've broken down, you have to build things up again. Can't very well leave a giant hole in the walls of your heart, can you? I think that's a medical condition that you don't come back from, and I'd rather not be terminal. So, I figured the only solution was the obvious. I returned to my normal self, and I continue to be what amounts to your bullying lover until time does us part. If time does decide to part us, then what shall we do? I say we decide when it comes to be, but I personally wouldn't mind one of those packs, you know? If you go, as shameless as it is to say, I don't think I could go on. It's just not the same. And for what it's worth, I may toy with you, relentlessly, in fact. I may even make you so broken, beaten down to your finest parts. But I'll never betray you. Not something so base as that. No. Instead, what I wish to do is something far greater. You see, right now your expression, even after being pushed around, is so neutral, fussy, and maybe a bit rebellious. I can't tell if you want me to be on my knees begging, or you're the one who wants me to put you in such a position, or perhaps neither. It doesn't matter, truthfully, as all can be accomplished with such an effortless moment. Everyone wants something. Everyone needs something. And I've just been better. I found that something. And that something is you. Don't look so coy now. It's not the first time I've professed feelings in a more intimate way, giving you exactly what you deserve, what you want, that syrupy sweet satisfaction of knowing how wanted you really are. That's what I want you to feel, and that expression is more like it. You're just full of surprises. That makes me want to devour you, but not in such a crass way. In a way that makes you understand that you're more than a mere peasant, more than a servant, more than anything below me. As much as it's twisted to say it, I did make a promise never to call you that. At least an unofficial one. Just look at that look on your face. Look on mine. Look at the kettle calling, well, whatever that phrase is. I'm not very brushed up on ancient phrases, but I was reading an old poetry book. And well, for what it's worth, I found one that reminded me of you. It's not so much one that was meant to be, but it came to me in a moment of inspiration. You might think this book is by some random deviant, but instead, it is I who published it. Don't look so impressed all at once. It's nothing. Nothing really. It's embarrassing to say this, but it's for you. You best appreciate it, or else. Yes, you don't have a choice in the matter. Whether you like it or not, you have to like it. It's logical in some capacity, but my nerves are getting the best of me. I've never read poetry in front of someone before. In fact, I didn't have an interest in it. And unfortunately, someone has infected me with something so disgustingly romantic that I can't get the thoughts out of my head. You really are my fold in the worst way. Anyways, bated breaths on the wind, always driving like a summer breeze. I saw you. You looked fun to poke and prod, and so that was my day. That was the essence. That was everything fine in life at that moment. That was you. You who easily disarmed me. You who was at the same time powerless and pure. That purity I devoured. That intention. Forever. Passion. Elegance. And the truest feeling of all. Obsession. I know it's barely poetry, right? Not so much as a rhyme in the whole damn thing. Instead, I let the words roll out. However, they didn't go as planned. Nothing ever really does it? Even for someone as elated as me, I never planned on falling for you like this. As I'm sure the feeling's mutual when we met in such uncanny and strange predicaments. But now look at us. I'm sure someone out there, at least someone, understands in some capacity how we ended up this way, some Freudian slip of something we can't even understand. But even then, even if it's some potential jargon of some psychological mishap, or maybe it's just something as simple as called love at first sight. As you know, I tend to pick on things I love, poking and prodding until you break, so, well, I won't apologize. I'll just say that now things are different. Now I've understood the power of equality, at least to a certain extent. For if we're equals, then you no longer can complain, can you? When I pick on you relentlessly, or when I tease you until you can't even breathe, then it's all just a lover's quarrel, like a widow and her mate, caught in a deathly embrace. Of course, a lot less morbid than that. I'm not exactly going to drain the blood from you. Something like that is more suited to fairy tales, and as much as I want us to live one, I'm not too fond of many of the tropes, and tried and true as it is, I'm not a gentleman. I never will be. I've never claimed to be one, and I don't want to, frankly. I don't want to change. You shouldn't either. You're still the most fun to tease. Oh, don't say that. You... What? No. You didn't pull the fast one on me. Just how do you always find a way to turn things around? I don't mind the competition of it. If that's what you're looking for, then so be it. That's exactly what you'll get then. Have it then. Take your prize. Don't be shy now. You won over me, didn't you? What do you mean I'm weaponizing your words? No. I'm trying to give a prize to someone who defeated me. What a feeble loss it was. So, of course, to the winner goes the spoils. Screw spoils. I think I prefer spoiling. Now the question is, who actually wins and who loses? I personally am a bigger fan of games where no one particularly wins or loses. As much as I enjoy the teasing and the looks on your face, seeing you after a loss almost fills me with dread. What have I become, right? What love can do to someone. But even then, you wouldn't lose so easily, would you? That's it. I see the fight in your eyes. Don't ever let that turn to flight. With this great big home atop this hill, looking over what is our small world, I want to play a game of hide and seek with you. I'll seek and you hide. If you last a certain amount of time, you'll win. However, if you don't, and I find you too quickly, then it'll be my win. Oh, what we're playing for is so interesting. You see, we could play for initiative. Oh, don't get it, do you? Well, in our inevitable future endeavors, perhaps it will give you something useful. Or perhaps I'll take something as precious as that. Maybe a price of a simple kiss. But that would be too boring, wouldn't it? A kiss with tongue. Still too boring, yawn. Maybe I'll reserve the right to use something particularly devious. Something to tease you in a much more interesting way. Maybe I'll pull the biggest prank I ever have on you. Or maybe you'll end up asking me to do the impossible, and lo and behold, I'll have done it. High stakes are the most fun, aren't they? Then, let's stopping you. Do you want to hide? Or do you want to seek? I always knew you had a thing for that. Or maybe you're just so confident you have a better hiding place than I do. We'll see about that, won't we? Off you go. I'll count to 10, and then be in your hiding place. Now, get going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not, I'm coming to find you. It sounds ominous, doesn't it? And with such a big open room, you had many options, many things you could hide behind. But let me guess, you hid right here. No. Well, could it be in here? No. What about here? No. I'm beginning to think you're better at this than I first anticipated. However, don't underestimate me, and also you didn't specify, neither did I, of the time limit needed. Where might you be hiding? Behind this? No. Where could you be? Honey, I kind of miss you now. Won't you come out if I ask nicely? No? Well, that's fine too, I suppose. Come out, wherever you are. Could this be it? Boom. Got you. So cute. What a wonderful little game of cat and mouse we play. But I wonder, do you even consider yourself the mouse in this case? Is that it? Or was that simply a misunderstanding? I'll give you that, given how short of time you had. And, well, how many previous places I guessed wrong, I'll give you a bonus. You clearly win. Are you surprised? If you're my equal, which you are, I have to learn to take better care of you. And if I don't, you would never be as happy as you could be. And for what it's worth, my obsession with you, I want to see where it goes. I want to see what you feel like, what you taste like, what you are like when you peel away every ounce of hesitation and you can let loose without anyone watching, anyone to judge, anyone to look at you sideways. But more so than that, more than even your reward, the point of the game was simply to see that look on your face when I found you. I find it to be entirely addictive, seeing you like this. Better yet, feeling you like this. Your reactions, they sustain me like blood for a vampire. I love when I can surprise you, when I can feel that heart race. When it beats just a little bit faster than normal, I can tell you know. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? The subtleties. The way you fidget just ever so slightly. The way you'll move your hands to do something to distract yourself from perhaps what might be considered a fluster. Not even just that. Sometimes your eyes will face the floor when you're nervous, ashamed, shocked, or even pushed ever so tenderly. You see, one of the keys of pushing someone against the wall, it's quite an art, you see. A lot of people think you do it like this. Hard, pushing against them, rough. And while I can see that as being a respectable contender, I prefer the more subtle grace, the ones where you get to feel every last detail, from the feeling of being completely secure, no place to go, no way to run away. And yet, the excitement comes next, doesn't it? Staring into each other's eyes, that wonderfully addicting gaze, and those gorgeous eyes looking back at me. No place to run, no place to hide, so why hesitate, right? Next comes the subtle contact, as our bodies grow ever closer, and you feel my hot breath right against your neck. I like to take my time here, because it gives me a chance to worship every little detail you can imagine. But it's also because I can feel when you go tense, and then the longer it goes, the more you begin to feel like a quivering leaf in the wind. And even further, when I finally graze my lips against yours, I get to see something I can only see like this. The feeling, the touch, the taste, the sight, the sound of you so unmistakably, adorably, irresistibly, without fail. You always have the same look when your lips quiver against me like this. And I live for it. I live for it because once that happens, I can feel how your legs go weak. When every fixation, every detail is meticulous and makes you aware of things. My hands wrapped around your waist, my body right up against yours, and my lips still hovering on yours, desperate for another kiss. I love the quivering. It feels so right. Your reaction, it's positively perfect. It might be the single most perfect thing I've ever encountered in my life. And that's why, at least one of the many ways, that I seem to have fallen madly in love with you. How could this be? And yet it is. There's no reason to deny what's as plain and simple as the air we breathe. What's as complicated and nuanced as a kiss with one's true love? That's what kind of story is being told right on your lips right now. In those eyes that can't quite meet mine. Don't stop being so fun to toy with. And I won't stop toying with you. It's a flawless deal, isn't it? Then, shall we? Relax. I've got you now. And before you knew it, you were firmly in my lap, and I had you, more like a bird in a cage. Yet that freedom was still there. The freedom of taste, touch, feeling, and all your senses matter to me. Every last one. I adore this. I need this as much as you do. How your reaction tells such a story, and yet I can't figure out why it is, why the story is told the way it is, why those lips keep quivering, why my hands sink lower, why my touch sinks deeper. I can only blame how much I feel when I'm with you. I love you. Though I hesitate to call you anything but my wonderful little royal, my special someone, my darling, my other half, sounds so out of character for me, and yet I would gladly be as un-me as possible if I could feel this wonderful with you every moment of every day, of every future, of a small eternity we have. Just like clockwork, hearts beat faster together, and just like that, a touch sent to oblivion, and yet it's more perfect, more satiating, more encompassed in so many feelings that I wouldn't dare change it. In fact, I could only add on to such indubitable perfection, don't you think? And shall I? Shall I truly? I figured you might say something like that. I like the enthusiasm, and who would I be except a liar if I were to hesitate now?